Hi everyone. In today's class, we will be discussing one of the very important phenomena in climatology, which is your temperature. So, temperature is the most fundamental element of the climate of the world. Okay. And when we say temperature, it is either the warmth or the coolness on the surface of the earth. That's how we describe temperature. So, temperature on the surface of the earth is basically caused due to the heat energy received from the sun. जो हमारे सन है उससे जो हमारे पास एनर्जी आती है, कम आती है, ज़्यादा आती है, सो ऑल दिस अफेक्ट्स द टेम्परेचर ऑन द सर्फेस ऑफ द अर्थ. The prime source of energy into our atmosphere is what? It is the sun, right? So most of the energy, most of the insulation, and if we see the heat which we receive on the surface of the earth, it is due to the presence of sun. And now when we say the amount of heat which is received on the surface of the earth, we are talking about the energy which is received on the surface of the earth and not particularly the atmosphere. There are certain factors which affect the amount of, we can say, insulation which is received on the earth, and the temperature. तो जो भी टेम्परेचर है हमारी अर्थ पे होता है, जो वार्मथ, कूलनेस, जिस तरीके से तापमान जो अपनी अर्थ पे मेंटेन रहता है, उसको बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं विच अफेक्ट द सेम. सो स्टार्टिंग विद द फर्स्ट, which is your solar output. It is also known as solar constant. Solar constant is the amount of solar energy received per unit area, per unit time on a surface perpendicular to the sun rays at the earth. Second, we have distance from the sun. The ever-changing distance of the earth from the sun produces more frequent variation in the receipt of solar energy. So जैसे जैसे जो distance है वो हमारा की shift होता है, हमेशा एक constant distance नहीं रहता between the earth and the sun. So whenever there is variation in the distance, तो उसी के according जो solar हम energy receive करते हैं, जो एक temperature का variation आता है, वो इस distance की वजह से आता है. So there are two phenomena. First phenomena is perihelion. Perihelion is observed on 3rd of January. So it is a day when the distance between the sun and the earth is closest. So the distance between the two becomes 147 million kilometer. So ये एक वो फिनोमेना है जिस दिन जो अर्थ है और हमारा सन के बीच का जो डिस्टेंस है वो सबसे कम होता है. एंड इस डे वी नो कि जो हमारी सनलाइट होगी वो ज़्यादा होगी, सन रेज होंगी ज़्यादा, तो टेम्परेचर कंपेरेटिवली ज़्यादा होगा. Second, we have ephelion, which is observed on 4th of July. Ephelion concept, it means the distance between the sun and the earth is going to be the farthest. सबसे ज़्यादा distance होता है इस day sun and earth के बीच में. And if we talk about in kilometers, it is going to be 152 million kilometer. Third important factor is altitude of the sun. So the altitude of the sun, that is the angle between its rays and a tangent to the earth's surface at a point of observation. It affects the amount of insolation received at the surface of the earth. So जो एक altitude होता है, जो एक angle बनता है between the sun rays एंड टेंजेंट टू द अर्थ सर्फेस, वो अफेक्ट करता है क्या टेम्परेचर होगा, कितने अमाउंट ऑफ इंसुलेशन रिसीव होंगे ऑन द सर्फेस ऑफ द अर्थ. So how does this altitude becomes very important when we talk about temperature or the insolation received on the earth's surface. So in summers, what you will observe is in the northern hemisphere where the earth is tilted towards the sun in the northern hemisphere. So there are direct sunlight which will be receiving at Tropic of Cancer. यहाँ पे आपकी vertical rays आती हैं, डायरेक्ट रेज आती हैं, ठीक है. सो स्मॉल एरिया पे ज़्यादा कंसंट्रेशन होता है, ज़्यादा हीट रिसीव होती है. ऑन दी अदर एंड जो ऑब्लिक रेज हैं, दे हैव टू ट्रैवल मोर ऑफ एरिया, ज़्यादा एरिया उन्हें ट्रैवल करना पड़ रहा है, लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस उन्हें ट्रैवल करना पड़ रहा है. सो दैट रिसीव्स लेस कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ डायरेक्ट सनलाइट. सो हैंस टेम्परेचर का वेरिएशन ऑब्वियसली होगा. जो डायरेक्ट सनलाइट हमारे ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर पे हमें रिसीव हो रही है, इट विल बी मोर, ज़्यादा कंसनट्रेटेड है compared to the sunlight which will be there near the poles. So you can look into the picture. When the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, solar radiation falls directly on the Tropic of Cancer, and there is increased input, increased sunlight, sun rays which we receive in the northern hemisphere. Hence, the day length will be increased. Similarly, when the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, okay, and the northern part is away from the sun, southern hemisphere is facing the sun, is tilted towards the sun. So what happens is the solar radiation, they will fall directly on the Tropic of Capricorn. There will be increased input at Tropic of Capricorn, and hence the day length in the southern hemisphere will increase. Coming to the fourth factor, which is length of the day. The length of the day also affect the amount of insolation which is received by the surface of the earth. So obviously, the longer the time during which the sun shines, the greater is the quantity of radiation which a given portion of the earth will be able to receive. So when the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, the northern hemisphere will be receiving greater amount of sunlight. So the length of the day in the northern hemisphere is going to be longer, right? Similarly, when the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, the southern part, the southern hemisphere will be receiving more of sunlight. Hence, the day length will be more. So, very interesting fact that there is going to be 6 months of daytime at northern pole and 6 months of polar night the southern pole will be experiencing. Similarly, there is reverse. There will be a time when the northern hemisphere, the northern pole will be experiencing 6 months of polar night, and similarly, the southern hemisphere will be experiencing 6 months of polar day. So I hope the concept is clear to you, that what all factors are there which affect the amount of insolation received on the earth's surface, how the temperature keep shifting. There is variation in the temperature that we experience during different months of an year.